Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old to history to anecdotes to really wherever our whims take us. Today on Lois Lane Getting Married, the only playlist that matters, we have one that has been long requested, a special wedding, but one that is going to surprise many of you, and that is the wedding of Lois Lane and Satan. Or is it? This story takes many a twist and a turn, and actually starts off in issue 102, even though the cover that people think of when they think of the story is 103. That's the one that has the picture of their unholy union on it. And if you've been here a while, you know me, you know that I'm gonna share it all with you, because you deserve the best. This is a high-class affair. It's a Lois Lane wedding. Open bar, returnable gifts, desserts with names you can't pronounce. I'm having the pave. You know you're ready to walk down the aisle with Lois once again. But before we get started, I'm Sasha, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Join us on this comic book journey. Our tale begins in, you guessed it, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, the comic that sees a Lois plot and says yes without asking questions. As mentioned, this is issue 102, written by Robert Kanigher, now a staple on this channel, with art by Kurt Swan and some Mike Esposito inks. Are they the Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane dream team? So many weddings we've been to together. 1970, here we come. Anyway, our cover tells us that Superman murdered Lois.
Yes, Lana, it's true. I killed Lois Lane.
Would you like to get married? We can use the dress I bought for Lois. Our teaser page has a giant Satan shadow on it. It's the beginning of the 70s, so the whole of the Comics Code Authority is loosening. The ban on supernatural creatures and some occult imagery would be fully lifted in 1971. So you'd see a lot more stuff like this across the board, especially at Marvel, who had a bit of a supernatural renaissance at this point. Take a look at our Ghost Rider review if you want more about that. Oh, that's right, Ghost Rider.
Relax, Lois. I'm around. Nothing can harm you.
Except me, with my callous disregard for your feelings. Lois is boldly wearing white at the International Parade of Rare Animals at the Metropolis Sports Arena, her exclusive. She's bummed because Clark has been getting better headlines than her lately. But her moodiness is lifted when she spots someone handsome. A Raja walking his loyal tiger. Lois decides that he's so handsome that she has to interview him. Lois picks her subjects based on a scale of attractiveness. However, Lois can go nowhere without peril following her as the tiger suddenly breaks free and comes for her.
Rana, halt. I Satdev call you.
Satdev? Could we not take more than 5 minutes to design this name? A better name for the Prince of Darkness? No? Just combine Satan with Devil? We know that it's not gonna matter. Lois isn't gonna think too hard about anything if he's handsome. We, the reader, see a glow from the ring Satdev wears, and it calms the tiger, but Lois doesn't see this and instead just thinks he has the power to tame animals. He follows this up by asking her to dinner, but Lois says she has to earn her meal, and so she's gonna interview him. So we get Satdev's cartoon Raja backstory, complete with him being offered brides, but none touched his heart.
But now my heart tells me my long quest for the Rani of my lonely dreams is over. At last I have found a home in your lovely eyes.
No one ever spoke to me like this before. Yes, they have. Don't lie to the man, Lois. The two end up traveling in a car together, with Lois making an offhand comment that she would sell her soul if she could outscoop Clark. You know, going on less dates with your subjects and doing more investigative journalism would probably help you outscoop Clark, even though he is cheating because most of his scoops involve Superman. But I guess selling your soul is faster. Satdev uses his magic ring to cause a building to collapse, and so Lois gets the scoop as Superman appears and rebuilds it. Satdev, you didn't have to spend $25,000 to hire the whole restaurant just for the two of us.
Money is like worthless grains of sand compared to a rare flower like you, Lois.
But you're not paying the bills with rare flowers, are you? For dessert, only one food will do for our Raja. Devil's food cake a la Hades. Do you get it? Throughout this evening, he keeps encouraging Lois to make more wishes to the devil, which she does, because I guess casually asking your date to worship Satan is just how flirting works. Been doing it wrong. The next day they have a beach date, but strange occurrences start to rouse Lois's curiosity. The cloven hoof footprints on the beach, bizarre elixir from his homeland, which puts him to sleep and he hints it's from the fountain of youth. Lois proceeds to show both no regard for her safety and cultural disrespect. Firstly, she just downs the elixir. For all she knew, it was just straight Jack, but whatevs. Cause it's time for her to remove his turban. Even though he specifically told her not to, saying that it was sacred in his culture. That was a lie. His turban was to hide the horns on his head, but she didn't know that.
You will now pay for your foolhardy insolence.
Oh no! I have horns too and my feet feel strange and...
Yes, you have cloven hooves and a tail as well. Just like me, didn't you think you would have to pay for selling your soul to the devil for a headline story?
Satanism. not even once. And to be fair, she also sold it to put the power back on the restaurant when it went out, and so that her flaming dessert would ignite. Lois sells her soul on the cheap. This scene is witnessed by Superman, who is taking Lana on patrol with him because that was her birthday wish. I didn't know that Lana was an adrenaline junkie. I learned something today. Superman gets into it with Satdev and his pitchfork ring, but tragedy strikes when a bolt from it bounces off Clark and hits Lois, killing her. Satdev's ring is always set to kill.
You can't beat the devil.
No, what you can't beat is editorial and apparently the code. Because part 2 goes in a completely different direction. One that will cause a lot of what happened to her here just to become perplexing or trite or both. Issue 103 has the cover that was so eye-catching for some of my viewers. Lois marrying Satan in what appears to be a silly Halloween costume.
Shades of Satan, Lois has been turned into a demon, and look whom she's marrying. By the infernal power of Hades, I take you, Lois, as my wife.
The devil's bride. Okay, brace yourself, because this cover, it lied to you. This interior teaser page is lying to you too, which features the admittedly cool imagery of Lois being taken to hell while Superman helplessly looks on. Lois Lane has had many suitors. Yes, she has. Continue. Wealthy and handsome men of many lands, even men of other worlds and times. Yes, we were there. Go on. But none has been able to take her away from Superman. Stop it, narration box. Everybody knows that's not true. So this one follows directly off the last one in such a way that if you didn't read it, you'd probably be a bit taken aback, because it opens with Superman on a hilltop screaming about how he violated his oath and trying to get struck by lightning to pay for his crime. He does get struck, but alas, he's invulnerable, so all it does is cause a forest fire near him, which he has to put out. It's at least nice to see Superman caring about Lois for a change, but it's about to go to a whole other level, because he shows up at Lois's corpse with a ring, and Lana is there to watch him marry Lois. He performs both sides of the ceremony, even though you know she can't consent because she's dead.
I, Superman, take thee, Lois, for my wedded wife, promising to love, honor, and cherish thee as long as we both shall live.
Ah, so not long at all then.
Lois Lane, wilt thou have Superman for thy wedded husband? Wilt thou promise to love, honor, and cherish Superman, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto him, so long as ye both shall live? With this ring, I thee wed.
Lana just stood there and saw all this happen. I hope she's reevaluating her I'm pining over Superman life choices. Also her I want to go on patrol for my birthday life choices. Superman flies off saying he'll spend the rest of his life alone atoning for what he did, and then the Raja shows back up. He tells Lana that he's here to take Lois to his realm, cause she's not dead, and let the inconsistencies begin. You remember last issue how he gave her horns and told her, "Ha, that'll learn you to sell your soul"? Now suddenly they just appeared after he says this incantation. Our recap of last issue stays consistent until the part where Lois drinks the elixir. But then it shows the horns, even though they weren't there during the Superman marrying her scene. Because they couldn't be, because you couldn't show Superman marrying a demon, I guess. To absolve Superman of being even an accidental murderer, now it was the elixir that caused her to go down, and just made her appear dead. And now Satdev has awakened her to take her to his realm, and so he takes her away, walking into flames. Oh, and Clark sees she's alive, so he can stop trying to get struck by lightning now. And by taking her to his realm, Satdev meant to his planet, because he's an alien. What? No devils here. Comics Code compliant. This really just feels like they weren't sure they could get away with showing a hellscape, so instead we're given this.
Thousands of years ago, we beamed a group of scientists to Earth. They landed all over the ancient world. Our space explorers came in peace, but they were attacked by ignorant, superstitious men.
So it was that they became the basis of the Satan figure, which they implies the same across all cultures. It's also clearly just there to skirt around what was going on last issue. I mean, their plan is still called Inferino. Oh, so clever, just like Satdev. He tells her they get their powers from rings, and he tells her of the feats he did for her, that he disguised as wishes granted by Satan. Why did he want her to think that? Oh, also what protected them from the flames was an asbestos aura. Oh, to live in a time where asbestos was thought to be safe.
Get to a doctor, Lois.
Lois asks him to use his ring to get rid of her horns. He tries and says that he can't. He says that must be the effects of the elixir on an alien. He then tells her not to be sad because he has a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to her or to us because it's a Lois Lane room. Photos of me? How did you get them?
I was watching Earth on the space scanners when the monitors locked in on you. I couldn't tear my eyes away. I took televideo shots of you every chance I had. I fell hopelessly in love with you. Finally, I had to go to Earth to win you.
By pretending that she sold you her soul? Your pickup game needs work. Your stalker game is on point. He finishes up his romantic pitch by telling her since she looks how she looks now, Inferino is the only place she can ever call home. Manipulation. Hot. So Lois throws herself into life on this planet, but at night she watches Superman on the intergalactic monitors. However, one fateful day, after bathing in what looks like a sulfur pit, she is made to put on her bridal gown because it's time to marry Satdev. Apparently the ring Satdev has for her has been in his family for eons, but that means she has to take off the other ring. The one that Superman gave her that she's been wearing this whole time. You know, when he married her corpse. But there's an inscription on the ring and it causes Lois to feel that she can't marry Satdev no matter what. She'll go home even if everyone shuns her. Satdev says that he won't force her to stay, and he's able to get rid of the horns with his ring, even though he says it's not him, it must have been the geyser that she bathed in. But after she's gone, it's revealed that he could have changed her back the whole time. That was just to try to make her stay by making her feel that she had no choice. He's a prince of something, alright. And so we end on the inscription within the ring.
I will always love you, Lois, till the end of time.
And so the comic ends, so we never have to see Lois and Superman have that conversation about how he married her corpse. You know, the fact that he'll marry her when she's dead, but not while she's alive. This comic was odd. The way it shifts direction is abrupt and truly feels like it was mandated, and it makes Satdev come off unevenly. The first issue was all blah, I was the devil, you sold your soul, now you're mine, to oh, I'm an alien who was stalking you and decided you'd love me if I made you think I was the devil. Just why? She would have gone for handsome Raja, even if he was an alien. Superman's an alien if he just added some powers. Although I don't know, she's pretty shallow. Even though those horns were barely messing up anybody's aesthetic, it might have been too much. It's just strange. The whole thing is very abrupt. Like, quick, wrap it up, boys. It just came across like an idea that wasn't fully fleshed out to begin with. Like, aha, she marries Satan. Good, green light it, write it. And then the follow through just wasn't there. Plus it really does feel like they had to change course midway through. The cover is more exciting than the actual content, sadly. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Where does Satdev fall on the list of Lois's suitors and potential husbands? Let me know all your thoughts down below. While you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time every day to spend it discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.